In 1981, Kim Carnes sang about Betty Davis' Eyes and Phil Collins about In the Air Tonight. Ronald Reagan became President of the United States and we were given the post-it notes. That same year, another significant event happened. Nikon launched its new version of the 28mm wide-angle lens. It was the creation of Mr. Daijiro Fujii, who was assigned to the then Optical Section 1 at Nikon Corporation. There are already quite a few YouTube reviews that explains the technical specification of this lens, so that is something I will not cover in this video. Instead, I will focus on my personal experience working with this lens in my everyday work as a photographer and show you a few examples. But first of all, why would anyone use a nearly 40-year-old lens today anyway? Haven't we technically improved? Yes and no. I think it's easy today to be bowled over by slick advertising and know-it-all paid-by-camera brand bloggers, that you sometimes forget that there was actually good lenses around that still are good. Lens makers of today produce lenses technically superior to yesterday's, but what usually happens is that when they score high on tech specs, they lose in character. For instance, I have three 50mm lenses, all performing differently, and therefore I use them in specific situations. There are some fantastic old vintage lenses out there, like this 29mm Orestagon from Meyer Optic, or this classic 105mm lens 2.5 from Nikon. If you can live without autofocus, and I'm sure that most of you guys can, a manual lens of this quality can give you a better result. But what is better? For some photographers, a new autofocus lens is better because it is easier to work with when pursuing, for instance, street photography. But then Henri Cartier-Bresson managed to shoot without autofocus. So did National Geographic photographer Steve McCurry, although he has nowadays switched to a 24-70 lens. In my everyday work situations, shooting interior, I very seldom need a fast lens. The camera sits on a tripod and I stop down to 8 or 11 anyway. Going back to the Nikon 28 in question, this lens is tack sharp, and with minimal barrel distortion, this is my go-to lens when shooting interior. Once in a while, I also bring it out for some nature shots. Here you can see the lens attached to different cameras. I will stop trying to convince you now and instead show you some examples. Please click the button if you found this short video useful to you, and feel free to write a comment below. Over and out.